I don't know if that's breaking news. I don't know if I should have said that or not. There's your hot take for today. But
We'll
they're
edit
good.
that if we have to. We'll talk to
Okay,
Cheryl
yeah.
first.
Ask Cheryl about that first.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
love to give back with Alzheimer's of Tennessee.
man.
Also a member of the Lions Club.
Hey guys, it's Matt Helton with One Trust Home Loans here with the Serving Senior Podcast. And this is the podcast where we highlight people that serve seniors and not just allow them just to survive in retirement, but these are people that allow their seniors to thrive and have the kind of golden years in retirement that they need and the type that they deserve. And I've got my good friend Christopher McClintock on here, and he is the owner operator of Comfort Keepers right here in Middle Tennessee. And he actually helps people not just get by in retirement. He actually helps people age in place in their home. So he'll share more about that. But Chris, thank you for jumping on here with us. How are you doing today?
Fantastic, Matt. Thank you for having me, man.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
Glad to have you, and look forward to learning more about you and your business. So I know you'll maybe give us some background on what you do and how you work, but maybe just share with people a little bit about your story. Love to hear your background if you could.
Yeah, I've got a core belief that, we're here to clothe the naked, feed the hungry, care for the sick, and it's just kind of my core belief in anything, that I want to do. I spent 20 years in the fitness industry, owned a gym that's actually still there. And I felt like I got to do that. You got to help people develop a plan and then keep them accountable to that plan, show them how they could take baby steps to a big goal.
Wow.
And I feel like after 20 years of doing that, I was able to continue to help my community and seniors in the same way. There was we go into a home where a family and a person might need some help, and we develop a plan of care, and then we execute that plan so the family can feel really good about their senior aging in place.
Wow, that's awesome. Now tell us about yourself. Are you from Middle Tennessee, or where's home for you?
Originally from Northern Ohio,
Okay.
a really small town with one stoplight.
Oh, wow.
Plymouth, Ohio. My high school isn't even there anymore.
You're a recovering Browns or Bengals fan?
I bleed orange, man. Browns fans for life.
Okay, so, nice.
I can tell you where I was sitting during the drive.
Oh, wow. Hey, the good news, there's always next year, right? If you're
That's right. There's always next year. There's always
next year. We've
been saying that I've been on this earth 46 years, been saying that about 46 years.
Okay.
And then, love the Cleveland Indians, grew up with them, Cleveland Guardians now.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's something that's always, that's special to my heart. Something my dad did, sitting on the porch listening to Cleveland games.
That's cool.
All summer.
Yeah.
I went to Kent State University in Ohio.
Antonio Gates, right?
What's that?
Antonio Gates. You know that name?
Did he go there? I don't know. Did he go to Kent State?
I believe he played basketball there. Check you can Wikipedia my facts, but I believe he played basketball.
Okay. I believe you, man. It's good. And then graduated from there in 2000 and moved down to Nashville in 2000. Thought I would live in Nashville and then Portland, Oregon, and then Portland, Maine, and then Texas and Florida. And I'm still here in Nashville.
Wow.
And I love it. I just love it. I can't picture living anywhere else.
That's so cool. What made you think you were going to travel?
You're 22 years old and you just kind of want to see the world. And then coming from a small town, then you come to Nashville and it just had everything that I loved. It had the seasons. It had it was a great place to start a business, and just really great people that would support you along the way. It was really easy to make some meaningful relationships here. That's what keeps you anywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, we're glad to have you. Glad you're still here.
Thank you.
So I like to ask, just maybe if you could share what makes you all different, and you personally, maybe
Okay.
one or two things about your superpower that may
Yeah.
differentiate you from the competition in your field that you work in now.
I have been in this field now for not quite a year,
Okay.
and I have met a lot of my competition, and they're all so caring, and they're all in this for the right reasons.
That's awesome.
You know, so it's I feel really good about the space that I'm in now with in-home. It's non-medical,
Okay.
in-home care, you know, but I think one thing that we do different is I'm very proud that with our caregivers, we pay the most in town.
Okay.
And therefore we tend to get the best people in town and seasoned veterans and all that. So we get about 100 to 115 applications a week, you know, wanting to work for us.
Wow.
And we'll hire one or two
Okay.
of those, you know, of very qualified people that we feel exceptional about sending to someone to someone's home. One of our caregivers, you know will go in, make a great impression, and do a great job.
Okay. That's awesome.
I think that's that's one thing I'm most proud of. And then we're one of the few in town that can do live-in. So somebody that needs 24/7 care, you know, we have staff that will go live with somebody and just, you know, become part of the family and really gives great 24/7 care.
Man, that's awesome. So it sounds like you guys really help your team members, and then definitely help your clients. Do you guys do much in the community or have aspirations to do a lot of community work?
We are very involved with Alzheimer's of Tennessee.
Okay.
Shout
awesome.
out to Cheryl Blanchard, who does a wonderful job.
She's going to be on here.
Alzheimer's.
She's going to be on here soon.
Is she really? She's
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
You're going to love her. Just what a big heart, you know, for those with Alzheimer's and dementia. She comes in and does all of our trainings for our caregivers on how to, show some love to a family that has Alzheimer's and dementia. Not only are you caring for the client, you're caring for the whole family.
Wow.
With that, she does a great job, you know, educating our caregivers on how we can best care for them. And then we bring in other professionals in the area to also help our caregivers. But they've got a big event coming up in April. It's going to be at Harlansdale Farm.
Okay.
I don't know if that's breaking news. I don't know if I should have said that or not. There's your hot take for today.
We'll edit that if we have to. We'll talk to Cheryl first.
Ask Cheryl about that first.
Okay.
But love to get back with Alzheimer's of Tennessee.
Man.
Also a member of the Lions Club here in town, so helping those that are blind or with
shout out to
eyesight
Kathy,
issues.
Shout out to Kathy.
Kathy Grodi, absolutely. Yep. And Ryan Reed, who's the president.
Okay.
Right now, we have a golf tournament coming up, so gonna be raising funds for that too. So really trying to get involved in the community quite a bit and volunteer.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. What about you? How are you involved in the community? Maybe you can give me some inspiration or some good ideas how we can also get involved.
Yeah, I think the neat thing about this is there's different angles that you can take with it. And what we really like to do is we've really dove into called the Senior Services Network. I think you've been to some of those meetings. And we've picked out several different groups, and that's how we met Cheryl. So some of my answers are going to piggyback off of what you said. Is I think the Alzheimer's of Tennessee is where we really have our heart, just based on what we see, how that unfortunately affects people in the senior community. And that's huge on our heart to serve that group. So thanks for asking.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's a great group. I think some of my staff are involved in that as well.
Yeah.
So I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, thanks for asking. I guess just so people can know more about you too, Christopher, and how you help, maybe share an awesome story or two about how your team was faced with a situation with one of your clients and how you're able to help better their life and maybe better their family through what you guys do to help seniors.
I think one of my favorite stories to tell is probably the reason I got involved.
Okay.
Was I had heard the story of a caregiver who was at a home with an elderly lady. And not only We'll do light housekeeping, help them with bathing and toileting and things like that. But our whole goal is to, what we say, elevate the human spirit is what we
Wow.
want to do. And so the caregiver knew that the senior liked to knit, but her hands didn't quite work the way that they used to anymore. So the senior taught the caregiver how to knit. And so the senior would hold the balls of yarn while the caregiver would knit, and they had great companionship and great conversation during that. The caregiver would drive the senior to the yarn store and she'd pick out the colors that she liked. And together they would knit these blankets. And then they would, at the end, when the blankets were finished, they would go donate those blankets to the preemies and the babies at Vanderbilt Hospital.
Wow.
And it just really kept that senior engaged, kept her doing all the things that she liked to do. But at the same time, it gave her purpose. And we were able to just give her the tools to keep doing the things that she loved to do and elevated her spirit.
Holy cow. That's
yeah.
awesome.
And I heard that and I was like, I gotta be involved with what we're doing here. Just give people some purpose. So that's one thing we also try to teach our caregivers is not only, are we there to do our job for the client and the family, but look for ways, to continue to elevate their spirit. So if they love to cook, we take them to the store so they can pick out all the things that they like. They get to do most of the work. We might help them get that 9x13 in and out of the oven. If it gets a little heavy or it's hot, so everyone's safe. But at the same time, then they get to continue to do the things they love and have purpose each day.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Maybe give a little background to the people that are listening on just some examples of, maybe not everything, but some examples of what kind of services do your caregivers provide? Because I don't know, some people out there may be thinking, well, I may not be ready for a caregiver, or my mom may not be ready for a caregiver, but you guys do a lot of things they may not even know. Be good to share.
Any kind of activity of daily living that someone needs. You may notice they can't quite button their shirt the same. It's sometimes when they're bathing or showering, it's nice to have someone just outside the door, just in case there is an accident, if they are a fall risk. If they have problems at night, getting up and getting to the bathroom, people can spend the night with them as well. So just kind of, if they see quality of life kind of going down in terms of, their apartment or their house isn't as clean as it used to be, they can't quite care for their pets, as well as they should, that's where we can kind of come in and kind of, fill in the gaps that way.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
So what are some of the ways that you and your company, help fill in those gaps for families?
Yeah, good question. So our specialty is we work with seniors, those folks that are 62 and older. And, Christopher, unfortunately, everything that you and your company does is fantastic. Unfortunately, it's a business, so it costs money. And
you're right about that.
Yes. Now you charge, prices are good, everything. You guys take great care of people. The challenge is it does cost money. And we've found that unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the, I guess you could say, the retirement, or they don't have, get the level of care that they really need. They try to get the one they think they can afford. And unfortunately, what they can afford a lot of times leads to more injuries, more issues. If they don't have someone like your team sitting there with them and they stumble, how long are they going to be there? They could get hurt. So those are all challenges,
right.
But that's all not because they don't want someone, but they feel like they can't afford it. And so that's where we come in for any type of senior services. There are alternative financing options, and that's where what we do is, so a lot of people, if they're in their 60s or 70s, most of them have been in their home for a good amount of time. And with the way the market is right now, they should have a good amount of equity. So what we do is we teach them how to take that equity that they have and be able to turn it into a tool that they can actually use to pay for in-home care. They could pay for, if they have to, hospice, or they could actually just pay for some fun, because I know a lot of people in today's world could use a little bit more of that. So yeah, great question.
Yeah, what a blessing, man. Just be able to provide people some options.
Yep.
When they may feel like they don't have any.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I guess
Yeah.
maybe a question for you, if 10 people call into your service, I mean, what's the biggest challenge that you have from getting them from, hey, I need someone, to actually getting you guys in the door and starting the care process?
I think most people, we get a lot of phone calls because there's just a few of us in town that are kind of top tier, and they kind of, we get two questions right off the bat. Do you serve this area, and how much are you?
Okay.
And like I said, one of the things we like to do is we like to pay our caregivers the most so they can really make a decent living doing this. But with that means we have to charge a little more. So we're not going to be the cheapest in town, so typically, government assistance and all that won't pay for what we do. So typically it's private pay
Okay.
and long-term care policies. And so
Got it.
sometimes price can be a bit of a hurdle
Got it.
for us. So not only do we, but then we try to work within their budget if we can, and work within their policy, but then it's also great to have people such as yourself that, can provide, alternative solutions to, making sure people can get the best care, at, because you're going to kind of get what you pay for,
Right.
and it's great that we can, possibly work together,
Yeah.
to get people the best care that they need.
Yeah. Thanks for saying that. What,
Yeah.
out of 10 people that call in, I guess, how many of them end up having a long-term care policy? Just round numbers, you think, from when you talk to people?
I'm going to say one or two
Okay.
probably have long-term care policies. There's been a lot of long-term care companies that have kind of gotten out of the game a little bit. And it sounded like a great idea 25 years ago, but with technology and I think better eating and all that, people are living longer. And so now there's like about maybe 4 or 5 companies that's all they focus on is long-term care policies. And again, that's something that probably had to start a while back, with your planning. So and I'll just say I'm speculating a little bit on that, but out of 10, maybe 1 or 2 will have that long-term care policy. And everyone else is probably going to private pay.
Yeah, makes sense. And then I even, when I talk to financial advisors and insurance agents, they normally say that even if you're in your 30s, 40s, and especially in your 50s, only anywhere between 2 and 3 out of 10, maybe 4 could even get approved for long-term care. And then the next hurdle is, once you see the premium, do you want to pay for that possible use of that? Right. So there's lots of hurdles for sure.
Exactly. Now what we see is people that have invested, during that time, previously, now recouping that investment, they really get to have a great quality of life, if they have that long-term care policy, and we always look for ways to stay within those hours or that, that monthly budget that they have. So they feel like they're getting the care they need, but then in the end, they're not really coming out of pocket that much.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're great tools if you can find the right one and get approved. That's a good. We'll have to have someone like that on the podcast here in the future.
Right, I've got a couple names for you that I could recommend. That would be a great resource for you.
That sounds good. We love to have them on there. And then that's where we would step in. Let's say they have long-term care, but it only covers maybe a certain number of hours, or maybe they unfortunately didn't get it or didn't get approved for it. That's where we can look at how could we use the home equity to pay for what you guys do, is where we'd come
exactly
in.
Yeah, exactly. One other area that we love to serve is our veterans.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, we're
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, we're in with the VA. So if somebody has served 31 days or more, they're eligible for VA benefits. So thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And allow us to serve you now. So if you served or you're the spouse of someone who served, you're also eligible for benefits.
Okay.
So, and it just and then it just depends. It could be between 8 and 12 hours a week, could be 20 hours a week. There's lots of professionals that will help you work through all that paperwork, and that's another it's really a blessing to be able to do that for our veterans. So
Yeah, that's great. I'm sure that's a misunderstood benefit that they have as well. Do you have some contacts if someone has questions on that you could get people to?
Absolutely. One of our favorites is Mary Ross Tarkington here in town, of Veteran Benefits, and she will help people through that paperwork and process of getting them approved, so then they can get the services that they deserve.
That's awesome. Okay, good. And you mentioned in town, we talked about Nashville. Maybe share with everyone your areas where you go, where people can get in touch with you, reach out, but also to maybe what parts of town would be good to hear.
Yeah, I'm blessed to own 4 territories in the Middle
Okay,
Tennessee area. Comfort Keepers is a worldwide franchise.
got it.
And so my territories go from up near Clarksville clear down to almost to Chattanooga. So we
Okay,
can serve the whole Middle Tennessee area. And like I said, we're one of the few who are, we have enough caregivers to serve the area.
okay. Man, that's awesome. Good.
So yeah, so while we're located right here in, my office is right here in Brentwood, Tennessee, and we have another office in Nashville. We're blessed to be able to just serve all the surrounding areas.
Gotcha. Well, no, earlier you mentioned about Alzheimer's of Tennessee, which is a great resource for people. Any other resources that are especially for seniors or maybe people taking care of seniors that are good just to kind of have people bookmark?
Yeah, so if there's 2 I'd love to highlight is, since we do non-medical, there are 2 that we really love. One is that do medical, and one is NP House Calls.
Okay.
Does a great job if someone needs, skilled nursing
Okay.
in their home. And another is an independent, Jan Norby here in town, does skilled
Okay.
nursing. And she is a great nurse that her heart is so big. And she just loves to go in and spend time and help families. And so those that need skilled nursing, NP House Calls and Jan Norby do such a great job. Great
Okay.
community partners to have.
Nice. Maybe what level of care would they provide, just so people know?
One thing that we can't do is we can't give shots, we can't give medications, and things like that. And that's something that a nurse can do.
Okay.
So they can go in if somebody needs shots, evaluations. They can even, if someone has a long-term care policy, they can even go in and get them approved for that long-term care policy. It has to be skilled nurses that do that. So, and that's kind of out of the range of what we do. But then, they communicate with us that this is what these person needs on the non-medical side.
Gotcha. Nice.
Yeah.
So they could do the medical part, and then you guys could still come in and spend time with the people to keep falling and help them cook and those type of things.
Exactly. They might go into a home once a month, or once every 2 weeks, to administer what needs to be done. And then we're more of the day-to-day.
Okay.
Keep people from falling, keeping their home clean, and different things like that, helping those with those activities of daily living.
Okay. Awesome. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Chris, just so people kind of have a accurate picture, do you have maybe 1 or 2 more stories of specific clients that you're working with now about how you guys help, just so people could have a picture of what it's like to work with you guys?
Yes, one gentleman now is he's 99 years old. He's a veteran, works out 5 days a week.
Oh my gosh.
Just unfortunately his eyesight is failing him a little bit, and he's having trouble driving.
Okay.
So what we're doing is helping him, taking him through that process, since being a veteran, of getting those benefits. It's called aid and attendance.
Wow.
Right now, so we can provide those services, and it's going to be of no charge to him. Then what's impressive to me is he's so humble. He says, I don't need to use those. Those are the VAs for people who need it.
Wow.
And I was like, sir, you have served, you deserve it.
Yeah.
And I just think it's that I'm inspired. It's that humbleness, that he wants to, even so, not take up resources that could be used for others.
Sure.
It's probably that same humbleness which caused him to want to serve our country at the same time and just be selfless that way. So it's a blessing to be able to, talk to these people and get inspired each day, how I can be a better person.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That gets you out of bed in the morning, doesn't it?
Yeah. Tell me about one of yours. What's been a success story of someone that you've helped along the way?
Yeah. Thanks for asking me. So one of my favorite ones is we had a client that reached out, and she owed about $20,000 on her house, but still had a hefty payment due every single month. And she reached out because she said that her body was telling her it was time to retire, but her bank account and her investment portfolio was probably telling her she'd probably never be able to retire.
Oh,
So,
no.
but she said, I have all this equity, there's got to be something that I could do with all this equity. So we analyzed it and looked at, home equity lines of credit, 30-year fixed cash out refinances, the whole 9 yards. And all of them would have saddled her with a large payment. So it makes it hard to retire with a huge mortgage payment. So none of that worked.
Right.
So she had her mortgage payment was around $1,000 a month, but she was paying about $2,000 to help pay it down faster. So we were able to come in with one of our the home equity conversion FHA mortgage, and we paid off her mortgage. So that means she was able to stop making that. She was making about $2,000. She didn't have to make that payment anymore. We were able to give her $90,000 of lump sum at closing. And then the way it works is you get access to the other half of your money a year later. So she actually got a $100,000 line of credit 1 year later, and we still left $300,000 in equity in her house because it's required on the program. And then we also were able to, the equity will transfer to her kids if anything happens to her. So basically, she still owns the house, has lots of upside. Now she doesn't have a mortgage payment. She has liquidity. She has cash. And 30 days later, she was retired when she didn't think she could retire.
Wow. Is that a typical turnaround time, about 30 days?
Yeah, it just depends on, really on these programs, depends on if they understand it, how many questions they have. But, with someone like what's working with you guys that has a quick need that needs it quickly. So in that 30 to 45 days, depending on, there is a class they have to take. So depending on how quickly they can get their class scheduled and how quickly they can get an appraiser out there.
I see.
Usually in that time frame.
Okay.
Yep. We love
Man, that's great.
Yep. We love helping. It's fun. Well, thanks for asking me that, sir. And I guess before we run, maybe share with people how to get in touch with you guys, maybe your best contact information.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on the web, so we're really easy to find. We do a really good job of making sure that if you type in Comfort Keepers or in-home care in Nashville, we're going to be pretty easy to find.
Okay.
So definitely look for us on the web, Comfort Keepers. And then our number 615-942-8907. Okay. We can be reached, and have two fantastic salespeople, not even salespeople, client care advocates that will go to the home and just meet to see if it'll be a good fit, no obligation, and see what kind of care a person needs. So we're happy just to meet with anyone who feels like they might want to just talk it through and see what some options are.
Wow. That's great. Okay. And Kurt, well, thank you for visiting with us. We appreciate your time today.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. What a treat. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. And thank you guys for listening and watching here on the Serving Seniors podcast. This is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans. It's where we focus on helping clients not just survive their retirement, but thrive in retirement. And where we come in is the financing piece. So whether they have a mortgage, we can make that payment optional. If they have cash flow options, we can actually help pay off other bills. And most importantly, our goal is just to make sure that they have the type of retirement, not that they can just afford, but the one you really want them to have, the one that they deserve based on all the years they've put in. So great to have you here on the podcast, and look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care. Thank you, Christopher. Take care.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you, man.
Take care. Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, home of retirement mortgage solutions. And we really do appreciate you checking out the Serving Seniors podcast today. Now, please go to the description down in the body of the podcast where you can subscribe to get future shows. Please click that notification button so you get notified when other shows drop. And also, if you can go to servingseniourspodcast.com, and we'd love to hear a comment about our show. We have a heart to serve seniors, and we have a heart to make sure seniors don't just survive retirement. Don't just get by in retirement. We want to show seniors how to thrive in retirement. So if you know of anyone that's 55 and older that could use some extra cash flow, maybe the retirement's not going the way that they like, our retirement mortgage solutions are designed for folks, and depending on the state, they're either 55 or 62 and older, to make sure that they have that kind of retirement that they want. As long as they own a home and they're in a good equity position, there could be some solutions that they may not have thought about, or maybe they've thought of and they just didn't know how they work. That's what we do. So anyone in that age group that could use some mortgage advice, my team and I would love to be able to help them. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a great day.